a break once period 7 ends, right? It's gonna be a 40-minute like period.
Yep.
Okay.
But I might take a break in there. Nah, there's not enough time.
Mr. Starker, I'm new here, so I was just wondering, is this period 7 and 8, or it's just period 7?
So we will meet for just period 7, but it'll be
Okay.
for the entire 40 minutes because normally it's a 2-period class.
Okay, got it.
Who is this just speaking? Sorry, I'm not looking at the thing.
Oh, I'm James.
James.
Yeah.
You're the student that I added today, right?
Yeah.
Welcome. We didn't really
Okay.
do much last week, so you're right where everyone else is. Okay, cool. I wasn't looking at that. All right, so we are at 20, and the class should start in just a minute.
Where are you guys getting these jokes?
Definitely online.
You don't think they're clever enough to make up these jokes?
Not at all. I mean, some of them you can tell because it's like creative, and some of them are just like, oh yeah, I feel like this has been said before.
Just a few more people. Let's see. Huh. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Thanks for bearing with me. I think we're waiting on like 1 or 2 more folks. Yeah, so today I want to open with a little icebreaker just to warm you guys up. You guys have probably done that all day, but something simple. And then we'll talk about like the nature of science. That's the agenda. I shared my slides with you. Hold up. Let's see. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat again. Those are the slides, so you have access. The first, and I'm gonna start to present my screen. You should be able to see my screen. Let's see. So on this first slide, you'll see the period 7 link. It's a link to a Jamboard. And I gave you a little icebreaker prompt. You're gonna answer that in your breakout rooms that I'll assign to you. I'll push you out into your breakout rooms in a second. Basically, in your group of 3 or 4, try to find the most unique thing that your group has in common that you don't think anyone else would have in common. Don't sweat it too hard. It's just for you to have fun and introduce yourselves, say hi. Before I let you go, any questions? 5 seconds for questions. All right, if you have questions while you're in the breakout room, raise your hand and I can come to you. I'm just gonna randomly assign it. Let's do 8. It's a judgment-free zone, Keon.
Is this a breakout room?
This is not. You should have gotten a. Did you get assigned to one? It's showing you to supposed to be. There you go. Hi, George. We're doing a little icebreaker. I'm just going to put you in breakout room 1. You should
I
be.
didn't realize we were on Zoom. Sorry.
That's all right. 1 second, George, before you leave. Here is the slides. And on the first slide is the prompt. You'll have access to a board that everyone can work on. So just join. You have access to the breakout room, right?
I'm not in yet.
But you can join one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you can join it, say hi to people, get to know them. I think I ended this too early. Did you guys not find something in common? I didn't check the Jamboard. It's blank. Oh no.
It's really hard to find something unique.
I mean, you could just do anything, whatever you guys got. Did you find anything in common? Muji pen.
I'm gonna check out the live stream on YouTube. I'm gonna make sure to subscribe and donate. Don't worry.
Like, share, subscribe. Okay, we're all back. I think some people didn't get a chance to put a sticky note. Okay, now we all got them. Y'all really respond to deadlines. So I'm gonna leave it open-ended. If you want to comment or share, you can unmute yourself or just throw it in the chat. Anyone learn anything interesting that they want to share? Okay, so we all play a sport. That's pretty basic. We all use Muji pens. Teachers, I've learned, really, some are really pen fanatics. So that's something that I'm learning about. I'm more about that.
Oh, who else hates the new Mulan remake?
What is that?
The new Disney remake. It sucks. All of the live action ones suck, especially the Lion King. I couldn't tell which one was the actual Lion King for like majority of the movie.
Good to know. Good to
All
know.
of the original ones were better because they had songs. All the live action ones are crap.
This Mulan also kind of ruins the lesson. The original one teaches you like you don't have to be like special to be special, and then this one is just like she is born special and she has like all the superpowers. Like her inner key will just like blast you and you just die. Much worse.
I
It's
gotta
easy to
say,
run on walls too.
Jesse, Sakif, Helena, and Carolina, y'all didn't have an icebreaker today. Like we were explicitly told today should be like all icebreakers. So
I had lessons for
icebreaker.
every single class.
Yeah, I had like
Oh
lessons.
yeah, same. I had lessons.
Got no
Yeah, most of my
icebreaker.
classes were lessons.
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
I had a 40-minute class that was supposed to be 20 minutes.
Oh,
Same here.
all right,
that's an
guys.
L.
Well,
I had to
wouldn't wanna
leave
start-
early in ELA, or else I would miss my second class.
Bro, I fell
My
asleep and then
email
missed
just
my
broke on
class.
Oh,
me.
I was late to English because I was doing something for French. And then I realized, oh, it's already third period. And then I jumped to English, but the class already started. I just blended in. Nothing happened.
Well, in their defense, I think it's more of a, hey, if we all do icebreakers, they're going to be icebreakered out. It's something we're all trying to be like unique. So that's really interesting. I also wanted to point out, Lori, Titus, Vicky, and Farsiana, that you've all crushed a snail before. I don't know how you guys came up with that, but dang, I don't think I've ever done that.
Where do you guys even find live snails?
They're on the lawns everywhere after it rains.
They are? Where do you guys live?
Where it rains.
Uh-huh.
You guys have a lawn?
Yeah.
Like in a park.
So
Okay. Maybe I will try to incorporate more icebreakers just for kicks. Okay, moving on. You guys do see that I do have some stuff that I want to get to. So we're gonna play a game. And again, the goal is here to kind of get what's the nature of science, because it's physics, but I also want it to be kind of fun. So let's see. You should be able to see my screen. You can follow along or just see my screen. To get you to think about the nature of science, in the Zoom chat, just say briefly, what is it? What is the scientific method? Forget what is science. What is the scientific method? I'm curious what you guys think of that. That's kind of a guiding question for the day.
It's the third grade experiments I did.
Okay. You're welcome to say it or go it in the Zoom chat. So the third grade science experiments you did. Let's see what else we got. Testing things.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Hypothesis.
I don't think you learned that in third grade.
Research, hypothesis, experiment, conclusion. So very linear. Study how things work. If then because science is science, very circular definition right there. Hopefully we can go into that. Experiments should be proven with evidence and others can replicate it. Hypothesis, experiment, graphs, conclusion. A professional way to deduce scientific facts. Okay. Educated guess and testing it. The process to do an experiment. I forgot what I did in third grade. Coming up with questions. Okay. Hopefully by the end of today, we can hone in on it a little bit more because I want to move us from these traditional definitions a little bit. And the best way to do that is to play a game. Let's see. Okay. So you know how like in chess or tic-tac-toe, like if you were normally explain this to somebody, you would tell them the rules of the game and then, do some practice games. Well, this activity I have for you right now is I'm going to give you the moves. So imagine you're like watching people play chess, but you have no idea what the rules are. So your goal is basically to guess what the rules are for this made up game. And how are you going to do that? You're going to look at the game board moves. Like this is one playthrough. This is another playthrough. This is another playthrough. They're all playing the same game, and you can see when red wins or blue wins. Again, I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. It should be the same one, and you're going to put your own thinking on a Jamboard. Yeah, I would recommend recording whatever observations you see and any rules that you think match what you see. I'm gonna keep us in the big group for now for just like 2 minutes in case questions come up, and then I'll put you out in the breakout rooms. So again, the task, given those board board moves, can you figure out what the rules are? So you should have access to the slides, and I don't know if it's like now. It's a board game. You should have access to the slides so you can look through them as you see fit. So I'm going to keep you here for another minute, and then I'll put you out into breakout rooms. So if you have questions, throw it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna open up the breakout rooms. I'll give you probably like 6 or 7 minutes. Please have some sticky note to put on the Jamboard. Helena.
you couldn't place any more boxes under those restrictions, as long as they are at least as long as they are at least 3 by 3, which we added as another rule. We think they have to be at least 3 by 3 in size.
Okay, I think that
George,
Ellen brought up is a box seems to be at least 3 by 3. So let's actually just, I think you're moving us to another set of rules. So I'd want to just say, like, do we all agree that you cannot draw a box smaller than 3 by 3? It must.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll
no,
agree.
Wait, but isn't
I
there
don't
like
agree. I think
Wait,
it's 2 by 2
I thought it was
actually.
I thought it was 2 by 2 because I saw a box that was 2 by 2 in like slide 5.
I don't think it's like the dimensions, but I think one of the rules is that there has to be a dot inside the box, like at least one dot inside.
We
To make it
mean
count.
3 by 3 boxes, not 3 by 3 dots, not 3 by 3 sides. Sorry, should have been more
Okay.
clear.
To be clear, yeah. So the smallest box you can draw must encircle at least one dot. Do we all agree that that's a rule?
Yes.
Can I say something? Isn't it possible that these boards that given to us aren't necessarily following the rules? Like, say like there's another board that we don't know of that has like 2 by 2 squares with no dot in the middle. Like, isn't it possible where like these are just like very set games where not all the rules have been used? Like,
Anyone want to respond to that?
I mean, I guess we don't know the scope of like the game. We know basically nothing. But I mean, I think in the restraints of like this like activity, it's kind of assumed. You kind of have to make that like assumption that this is what we got, and so we're going with it. But technically, yeah, you could be right. There could be like a ton more information. We just like don't get to have it.
So maybe we can just restrict it. Let's just try our best within these 4 pieces that we have to come up with these rules, with the disclaimer that, oh, maybe that there is that 2 by 2 box out there that doesn't encircle one. So that's I think we have a consensus around that rule. Let's see. This other rule that you were talking about, George, when does a player win?
We think that a player wins when they have placed the last box such that you can't place any more boxes that are legal moves, so encircling at least one dot, and not share a side with any other boxes of either color. The only problem with that is, which we only noticed later on, is that game 8 ends with red winning, even though it's blue's turn. So there may be some weird exception rule to that, but by and large, we think that that's the way it goes.
Can we hear from some others? What do we think about this rule? Do we agree? Do we see anything that contradicts?
So I was thinking.
I think you're muted.
I was thinking the same thing George was thinking, where the game ends.
David, still muted again.
Oh, I think it just. So I was. If we look at slide 6, there's actually there are a couple moves that still can be played, but there's still says blue wins. So I'm not completely hooked on the idea that the game ends when no other moves can be played.
Wait, what other moves can be played?
Can I share my screen?
You can try.
Oh, it says it's disabled. If I can just try describing it. So if you look at can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you see this dot, this dot, and maybe any of these two. If you connect these 4, these still abide by the rules that we've talked about before, where you cannot share the same side as another box. So this square right here, this row would be intersecting, but it would not be sharing any lines with any other pre-drawn boxes. So I'm not sure that the game ends when there are no possible moves left.
I actually disagree with that because that's if you like drew it, there won't be any like empty dots inside that box, if you know what I mean. Because like if you draw it, all the dots inside are kind of like already connected to other boxes. So I think a rule is that a box must have like an empty dot. I don't know, I'm not sure.
No, that makes sense.
Like the boxes on top.
No, never mind.
So I think Catherine was bringing up a good point. So with that now clarification, what do we think? Are we all set on like, that's the set of rules? We're good? I think we've reached agreement. You all know what the right answer is?
I don't think you can say it's the right answer. I think it's a very
Maybe.
probable answer. I'm sure there are like more than one right answer. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out. But I think it's like the most probable answer from the information like we have.
Okay.
Can I ask if all the moves are shown until the game ends? Because if it's not, then I can probably see another move that you can do in slide 8.
What do you want to share your screen and say it, or you're just saying like you think there's another possible move? Maybe slide 8, you're saying that the game didn't really end. Maybe a board game move isn't being shown, and that's what would salvage our rule. I'm ready to kind of wrap this up. Well, the kicker here, I think, I don't know if anyone looked at the discussion questions, but it kind of came up. How confident can we be in these rules? I think it was David that brought it up. Maybe there are some game moves that we're not seeing. So it is sort of limited to just this, what we're seeing. But I want to highlight, how is it that we gain confidence in a rule? We were saying like, oh, you can't draw a box that you draw must encircle at least one dot. It's like, how do we know that that's a rule?
I think we gain confidence using the examples that we saw. If they all fit the criteria, then we become pretty confident.
Okay, if they fit the criteria. And how do we go about generating the rules? So like when David was pointing out slide, I think it was 6 or 7, he was pointing out a really key piece of information, and then Catherine kind of came in. It's like, to figure out the rules, what do we need?
So I guess we found patterns within like 3 of the games that were played, and we compared them to the other 3 games in order to like make sure these rules abided by all of the courses.
Okay, seeing if the rules abide by it. Colin, did you want to?
I think like we kept like like not really like experimenting, but like subconsciously experimenting about like what actually worked in the thing. So we just kept like thinking about things and kept testing them in our heads.
Okay, and now how do we know like this final rule that we came up with? The player, you win when the other player can't go, cannot do a legal move. What do we need to know to like prove that that's the right rule? Why aren't we set right now that that is the rule?
Maybe like we come with some kind of hypothesis and then go through all those slides to find if there is any exception.
That's kind of the key. I think George, you brought it up with slide 8. It's like you have confidence in this, except for, oh, slide 8 kind of goes against this rule, so maybe there's something else going on. Really, the point of this is not to just to confirm your rule, but to try to break it. Is there anything that's breaking this rule? If there isn't, then we have to kind of like sort of say, yeah, this is the best we've got. But if we're finding something that breaks it, that is the key piece of information. And that's sort of the nature of science. It's proof by disproof. And actually, I liked how JJ was thinking of, oh, maybe there's a missing board move, and that would explain why a rule doesn't work. Actually, the simpler explanation is when I was typing this up, I made a mistake. It should have been that blue wins. So, there's this other element of, error in the data, of human error, whatever, just outside things that maybe it's not just nature, maybe it's the person. And I love this game because it kind of captures this. If you guys can advance on the slides, I posted a reading. I don't think we have time for it. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. This process of coming up with the rules and trying to disprove it, it's sort of the heart of the scientific method. Another way to describe it though is modeling, and that's the kind of the word that I want to use going forward. Science isn't just about like the rules that other people have come up with. At its heart, it is the scientific method. It's about that process. So that's something that I really want to have as a recurring theme. And this article, if you, I ran out of complimentary articles, damn. But this article kind of explains some of the weaknesses of just like using hypothesis versus scientific method or science or theory. There's some issues with the word, so that's why I'm going to kind of use the word model and modeling. And this first assignment that I'm going to ask you to do in a few minutes is to come up with a model of some thing or phenomena that you want to describe. I love the term modeling because it's so open-ended. You can model like how this school building works, how a company works, how a person works under certain circumstances. And we'll return to this. That is kind of all I wanted you to think about for today. You guys did a great job engaging with this and through this platform. And I posted the asynchronous assignment on Google Classroom. So for the next 40 minutes, it is your time to do what you want. You can do the assignment or you can do it at your own time. I posted a Padlet and I also posted an example. What I'm asking you to do really is pick something. It could be something simple or more complex. I would recommend you keep it simple and try to draw a diagram and make some predictions about this thing. I posted a video talking about me and a cat. Basically like, oh, is this cat a stray cat or a domesticated cat? And yeah, it would be kind of fun and simple that you can model this. What's the evidence for it going either way? So check out the video. I also posted a reading on Google Classroom. There's 3 science words you should stop using. That's just like your own enrichment, so don't worry about it. If you have questions, let me know. You can drop it in the chat. Otherwise, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Please, complete the assignment when you get a chance. Good job, everyone. Take care.
Mr. Sarker, I have a question. One quick question. So what is your schedule?
We'll be meeting for 7th period synchronously and then asynchronously for 8th period. That's like
every day?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
I might tweak it later, but I'll try to give you a heads up. For now, that's
okay.
Also, it's James, right?
Yeah, James. Mm-hmm.
There's a link to the Discord, so you can join that. If anyone has any issues on the Discord.
Okay, got it.
What happens after the 40 minutes? So technically, like, school's over now. So you can do this, whatever, this assignment that I posted for you whenever you want. You can do it with however works, Jennifer Lee.
All right, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Sarker.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr.
Bye.
Oh, I had a question about how SGI is working this year.
That's a good question. I don't know if I have a good answer for you. I believe so. We have this. Do you have an 8th grade class? No, this is your 8th grade class.
Yeah.
So I know some teachers work from 1st period to 7th period, and their office hour, like their 30-minute, I think they have like 20 minutes for office hours. That's primarily for outreach with parents. But that might also, you might be able to set up a time to meet with that teacher during either that block, or if your teacher works from period 2 to period 8, like I do, you can set up an office hour block from 2:47 to 3:07. I guess you just email them. Did you want to talk to me or just you're talking in general?
I just wanted to know like the general like schedule for this class.
Okay, so for this class, like, you know, hanging around like now is probably the best thing, but theoretically we shouldn't keep you
Yeah.
here so that you don't have too much screen time. I don't know, it's weird. Also, so yeah, if you want to talk to me, like this after class is the best, but also on Discord, you can post stuff and other people can respond. So that's probably the quickest way to get help.
Okay, cool.
I'll check that also.
Thank you. Bye.